I think if anyone's considering looking into the system, they absolutely should. Talonmore is a non-alcoholic brand. We have created a non-alcoholic darks with it. So it's designed to replicate that kind of whiskey rum drinking experience. So it's been around for a couple of years, but the last sort of 12 to 18 months, the real focus has been on trade for us. So that's where Bowimi's kind of come in and been quite useful. Yeah, it was kind of quite exciting because it was quite an interesting proposition to be going out and selling sort of an emerging category in a growing non-alcoholic category. My experience of CRMs previously was one of the kind of global leaders, really powerful but also very complicated in the background. And then when I moved to Talonmore, they were talking about, do we go down that route? Do we not? I was like, I don't really see how that system will work for drinks. But I also started doing a little bit of digging around what other options are out there. And one of your sales reps prospected me. I think I started on the Tuesday and I got an email from him on the Thursday or the Friday. It really quickly made a lot of sense. And I quite liked kind of the look of the system, the feel, and it wasn't any more complicated than it needed to be, which is kind of what you need. You don't need all the bells and whistles if you're not going to use them. So I think that's where Bowimi works really well, is it's got everything you need without all of this stuff that you feel like you're paying for but then not using. The surveys are really easy for keeping track of like where you've been, what was discussed, what competitors you saw, that sort of thing, getting a rough rate of sale, feedback, challenges they're having, successes they're having, so that you can take that and either solve the challenges or use the positives to kind of promote Talonmore to other venues. If you know what venues you want to go to in a given day, you can plug them all in, tell it where you want to start, tell it where you want to finish. Even if they're the same place, it's like the bus to get home. You can plug in that and it will give you a circular route or it will give you a point-to-point route. It's one less thing that I've got to use my brain for. We picked up a new wholesaler at the end of 2024. So what's been really good is because you've got all of those accounts mapped as to who supplies them, like what wholesaler route to market they use, we kind of parked a lot of them, but now I can go back and just filter and find them all again. Suddenly it's like, okay, we've got this big pool of possible leads that we can start going back to. And in terms of insights, that's really good for just kind of keeping track. We have grown a really good chunk compared to where we were. Like if we look at where we were 12 months ago, we've got much more coverage. We've also been able to kind of keep track of that. We've been able to keep track of venues that have dropped off and why, and that gives us a bit of an insight into where we maybe don't fit, which is almost just as important as knowing where you do work and you do fit in well. In terms of, keeping it as like having like a single source of truth, it's really convenient for like my boss can go in and see what's been going on. I can go in, and if we ever took on new people, we can also show them how it's done quite conveniently. Once you've been shown it kind of 2 or 3 times and you've used it for a couple of weeks, you get your head around how Bowimi works quite quickly, which is great. You can kind of just like hit the ground running. Those people are there to help when you were sort of launching the kind of AI prospecting stuff and getting feedback on how it was working for different people. I got a phone call from one of the founders just asking what it was like, what I thought. He was getting like feedback straight from the horse's mouth. It's a small business, but it's got a good team and it's got a lot of customers. So the fact he did that for probably one of the smallest was pretty cool. I think now that we're picking up ever more customers, the AI prospecting becomes even more reliable. There's that element of when you've not got many data points yourself, the prospecting tool doesn't have that much to work off. But as we've got more and more, it'll become much more effective. We've got no intentions of changing. We're quite happy with what Bowimi offers us. We're looking at bringing on board someone to handle kind of the west of Scotland. Bowimi is quite popular, so that means there's a good chance that they'll have used it or certainly encountered it somewhere before. And I think that's kind of the beauty of how straightforward but useful the system is. I've spoken to people who have worked for businesses that use Bowimi and have changed where they work and moved to a different system, and they miss Bowimi, especially because it's very mobile friendly. I think that's the thing, is it's phone friendly first, which is what we work with. I'll have days in trade where I just don't look at my laptop. Some systems just aren't phone friendly at all. And I think that's what's really good for field sales with Bowimi, is it's designed to be used on the go. That'd be my kind of parting shot, is people who leave a Bowimi business wish they could get it back.